Section: Introduction. In this section, we discuss the prevalence of text generated by large language models, LLMs, in today's society, which has led to a surge in research focused on automatically detecting AI-generated content. This is crucial for addressing issues like academic plagiarism and the creation of misleading information. However, we note that these automatic detection systems often struggle with low accuracy, vulnerability to evasion tactics, and lack of clarity for users. Instead, we shift our focus to how effectively humans can identify AI-generated text. Unlike previous studies conducted before the rise of models like ChatGPT, we examine text produced by advanced LLMs, including GPT-4o and Claude 3.5-SONNET, especially when evasion techniques like paraphrasing are used. We employed human annotators to evaluate nonfiction English articles, categorizing them as either human or AI written, and asked them to explain their reasoning in detail. In total, we gathered 1,790 annotations across 300 unique articles, costing us $4,900 United States dollars, which allows us to compare human performance with that of automatic detectors and understand the clues they utilize. Our findings reveal that experience plays a significant role in detection. Annotators who seldom use LLMs tend to perform poorly in identifying AI-generated text. However, we identified a group of 5 skilled annotators who frequently use LLMs for writing tasks. Remarkably, this group only mislabels 1 out of 300 articles when voting on the correct classification. Importantly, we did not provide any training or feedback to these annotators. We also found that our expert annotators significantly outperformed nearly all commercial and open-source detection tools we tested, with only the commercial Pangram model achieving similar accuracy. In our most challenging scenario, where we needed to identify articles generated and humanized by O1PRO, our expert annotators achieved a perfect detection rate, while other methods struggled significantly. Analyzing the experts' explanations, we discovered that they often relied on specific AI vocabulary, predictable sentence structures, and the originality of the content as key indicators. Although evasion tactics like paraphrasing and humanization were employed, they did not completely eliminate these telltale signs, indicating that further research is needed in this area. We also explored whether LLMs could replicate the decision-making of our human experts. By providing an LLM with a candidate text and a guide based on expert explanations, we found that this approach performed well on simpler tasks but had difficulty with humanized articles. We believe that LLMs could complement high-performing detectors like Pangram by providing explanations for their judgments. In summary, our study highlights a group of annotators who are adept at detecting AI-generated text without any formal training. Their collective judgment surpasses that of all automatic detectors we assessed, even when faced with paraphrased or humanized content. We are making our annotated data and codebase available to support future research in both human and automatic detection of AI-generated text. Finally, we address the effectiveness of human detectors compared to automatic systems, noting that the latter often exhibit low detection rates and are easily fooled by minor text alterations. To investigate how well humans can identify AI-generated text, we conducted 5 experiments where participants evaluated increasingly deceptive AI-generated articles. Each experiment included 60 articles, half written by humans and half generated by an LLM, ensuring that each human-written article had a corresponding AI-generated version with the same title and subtitle. Section Summary. In this section, we explore the effectiveness of human annotators in detecting AI-generated text, particularly from modern large language models, and find that experienced users significantly outperform automatic detectors. Our analysis reveals that expert annotators rely on specific linguistic cues and structures, demonstrating that human detection can be a viable strategy, especially in high-stakes contexts where explainability is essential. Section: Article Selection. In this section, we focus on selecting English nonfiction articles that are under 1,000 words and intended for general audiences. We do not claim to understand detection performance in other areas, like scientific papers or social media, but we choose these articles because 1. there is a significant amount of fake content generated by malicious users of language models, making our study relevant. 2. These articles are accessible and do not require specialized knowledge. And 3. Many prior studies have also examined AI-generated text in this context. To create paired articles, we generate an AI version for each human-written article by using the title, subtitle, desired length, and source of the original. This method ensures that the AI articles match the topics and lengths of the human articles, allowing for clear comparisons. We use a within-subjects design, where each annotator evaluates both types of articles, which helps reduce variability and the number of annotators needed. To further limit bias, annotators do not know which articles are paired, and the order of articles is randomized. For example, we might prompt an annotator to write a 750-word article based on a specific title and subtitle from a reputable source. In our experiments, we adjust the prompts to include changes aimed at avoiding detection. We report the lengths of the articles generated by both humans and AI in our findings. We recruited annotators through Upwork, ensuring they were native English speakers. They read project guidelines and signed consent forms before participating. We also surveyed them about their education, profession, English dialect, and familiarity with language models, compensating them 2 per article, which amounted to a total of 1,740 annotations from 9 annotators at a cost of $4,900. For evaluation, we measure the true positive rate, TPR, which indicates how many AI-generated articles are correctly identified, and the false positive rate, FPR, which shows how many human-written articles are mistakenly identified as AI-generated. Previous studies have reported TPR at a low FPR, but we use a threshold calibrated to a 5% FPR based on a set of human-written articles for fair comparison. In our first experiment, we investigate whether there is a group of annotators who can accurately detect AI-generated articles and what common traits they might share. We start with 5 annotators of varying expertise who evaluate a batch of 60 articles, half of which are AI-generated and half human-written. We find a wide range of performance. Some annotators with little experience using language models perform close to random chance, while one annotator who uses them daily achieves nearly perfect accuracy. Encouraged by this, we recruit 4 more annotators with similar backgrounds to our top performer, and they also perform well. We discover that annotators with limited experience using language models are not reliable in detecting AI-generated text. Those who either do not use language models or use them only for non-writing tasks have a detection rate similar to random chance, with an average TPR of 56.7% and an FPR of 52.5%. We refer to this group as non-experts for the remainder of our study. Section Summary. In this section, we focus on English nonfiction articles under 1,000 words for lay audiences to study human detection of AI-generated text, generating paired articles to ensure comparability. Our findings reveal that annotators with limited experience using LLMs perform similarly to random chance in detecting AI-generated content, while those with regular LLM use demonstrate significantly higher accuracy. Section. Annotators who frequently use LLMs for writing tasks are highly accurate. In this section, we discuss our findings regarding annotators who frequently use large language models, LLMs, for writing tasks. We found that 5 annotators with substantial experience in this area can accurately identify AI-generated text, achieving a true positive rate of 92.7%. Their average false positive rate is only 3.3%, indicating they rarely confuse human-written text with AI-generated content. These 5 annotators correctly identified the authorship of all 60 articles, and we will refer to them as experts throughout this paper. To understand the difference in performance between experts and non-experts, we analyzed the comments made by each annotator. We noticed that non-experts often focus on specific linguistic features, such as the use of uncommon vocabulary, mistakenly believing that any sophisticated word indicates AI authorship. In contrast, experts recognize that certain words are frequently overused by AI. Non-experts also assume that human authors are more likely to write grammatically correct sentences, leading them to misattribute run-on sentences to AI, while experts understand that humans often produce ungrammatical sentences. Additionally, non-experts tend to label any neutral-toned writing as AI-generated, which results in many incorrect identifications since formal human writing can also be neutral. In our second experiment, we aimed to determine if our experts could identify articles generated by a different LLM, specifically Claude 3.5-SONNET. Despite the change in model, our experts maintained their reliability in detecting AI-generated content, achieving a true positive rate similar to the first experiment. The expert majority vote was again 100% accurate, although one annotator, who had no prior experience with Claude, performed slightly lower. However, 3 other annotators unfamiliar with Claude still achieved high true positive rates. In our third experiment, we examined how well experts could handle paraphrasing attacks, a common tactic used by LLM users to evade detection. We tested our 5 expert annotators on a new set of 60 articles, where the AI-generated articles had been paraphrased. We found that the experts continued to demonstrate high true positive rates and low false positive rates. To create these paraphrased articles, we used a sentence-by-sentence approach with LLMs and included named entities from human-written articles to make the task more challenging. Section Summary. In this section, we demonstrate that expert annotators, who have significant experience with LLMs, achieve a high true positive rate, TPR, of 92.7% in detecting AI-generated text, while maintaining a low false positive rate, FPR, of 3.3%. We also find that these experts can reliably identify AI-generated content from different models, such as Claude 3.5-SONNET, and maintain their detection accuracy even when faced with paraphrased AI outputs. Section. Experts are robust to paraphrased AI-generated articles. In this section, we discuss our findings on how experts respond to paraphrased AI-generated articles. Overall, the true positive rate, TPR, and false positive rate, FPR, remain nearly the same as in previous experiments, indicating that paraphrasing does not effectively deceive expert human detectors. The majority of our 5 experts successfully identified the labels for all 60 articles, recognizing similar clues in the paraphrased texts as in earlier experiments, such as the frequent use of I-related vocabulary, predictable sentence structures, and upbeat summary conclusions. Next, we explored whether experts could keep up with advancements in large language model, LLM, reasoning capabilities, specifically with the release of OpenAI's o1 model. This presented a unique chance to see how well our experts could detect outputs from this advanced model. We found that our experts remained effective at identifying articles generated by o1 PRO, although they tended to conduct more thorough analyses to reach their conclusions. For 4 out of 5 experts, the ability to detect o1 generated content was consistent with earlier results, achieving a TPR of 96.7% and an FPR of 0%. However, one expert's TPR significantly decreased as they focused more on signs of human writing rather than AI writing. Overall, the average confidence level dropped slightly, reflecting the increased difficulty posed by o1 generated articles, yet the experts still demonstrated strong detection capabilities. When analyzing o1 PRO outputs, our experts provided more detailed explanations, shifting their focus from identifying AI characteristics to recognizing traits that make text sound human. For example, they noted that humans often use the word says, while AI tends to opt for more descriptive terms like notes or explains. One expert, who was frequently misled by o1 PRO, overly relied on informal language cues as indicators of human writing. In our 5th experiment, we examined whether experts could withstand attempts at humanization, a tactic used by some to make AI-generated text appear more human-like. We created our own humanization method based on expert feedback from previous experiments. Despite the challenges posed by humanization, most of our experts remained resilient in detecting these texts. To develop our humanization approach, we modified the article generation prompt to include specific instructions on AI signatures to avoid. We consulted our experts, compensating them for their insights on detection clues, and compiled these into a comprehensive guidebook. We then used this guidebook to prompt O1PRO to generate articles designed to evade detection. This process resulted in a new set of 60 articles, with half generated using our humanization prompt. Further details on our humanization method can be found in the relevant section of our paper. Section Summary. In this section, we demonstrate that experts remain effective at detecting both paraphrased and O1PRO generated articles, with a majority vote TPR of 96.7% and no false positives, although one expert struggled with O1PRO due to a focus on human writing traits. Additionally, we developed a humanization method to make AI text more human-like, but our experts still successfully identified the majority of these humanized outputs. Section. Experts remain robust to humanized articles. In this section, we discuss our findings regarding the detection of humanized articles by experts. Despite our attempts to create articles that would be undetectable, the detection rates of our experts remained largely unchanged from previous experiments, with a perfect majority vote on all 60 articles. One annotator, who had difficulty identifying non-humanized articles in a prior experiment, struggled significantly with this batch, marking nearly all articles as human-written, resulting in a zero true positive rate. Although detection rates stayed consistent, the overall confidence of the experts dropped, with 15.1% of annotations showing full confidence, indicating that humanized articles posed greater challenges. We also found that, despite our experts finding this round the most difficult, they continued to rely on the same types of clues as before, suggesting that the humanization process did not completely eliminate the AI signature from the articles. For instance, while humanization introduced more variety in names, our experts noted that humanized articles used titles like doctor or professor more frequently than human-written ones. This emphasizes the need for more public research on humanization, as advanced methods can complicate detection for both humans and automated systems, while also providing better training data for more effective detection systems. Next, we provide a detailed comparison between human experts and automatic detectors. We analyzed expert explanations by categorizing them into different areas such as vocabulary, originality, and formality, which helps us understand their focus during the experiments. We also examined the differences among annotators, particularly when they made errors, which has implications for future training of human annotators in detecting AI-generated text. We compared our human experts with several state-of-the-art AI detectors on a set of 300 articles. We used 5 different detectors, including Pangram, which is a commercial closed-source detector, and GPT-0, another closed-source option that analyzes text sentence by sentence. We also tested open-source detectors like Binoculars and Fast Detect GPT, which use different methods for detection. Our results showed that only Pangram humanizers matched the accuracy of the human experts, outperforming individual experts as well. Pangram performed nearly perfectly in earlier experiments but had slight difficulties with humanized articles, while GPT-0 struggled significantly. The open-source detectors performed poorly in the presence of paraphrasing compared to the closed detectors. We noted that our experts, being untrained in this task, could likely enhance their performance with feedback on their mistakes. Lastly, we coded the explanations provided by our experts, as automatic detectors often lack transparency. We developed a schema to categorize these explanations, revealing that vocabulary-related clues were the most common, followed by sentence structure, grammar, and originality. We observed that some categories, like originality and tone, are harder to assess automatically, suggesting that humans currently have an advantage in these areas over automated detectors. Section Summary. In this section, we demonstrate that human experts maintain high detection accuracy for AI-generated articles, even when faced with humanized content, although their confidence levels decreased. We also compare expert performance with various automatic detectors, revealing that while some detectors perform well, they generally lack the nuanced understanding that human annotators possess, particularly in areas like vocabulary and originality. Section: When experts correctly detect AI-generated articles, what clues do they use? In this section, we explore how experts identify AI-generated articles and the clues they rely on. We notice that as the complexity of the article generation increases, the types of clues mentioned by experts change. For instance, 57.1% of correct explanations for O1PRO articles reference vocabulary, while only 42.3% do for humanized O1PRO articles that were prompted to avoid AI vocab. Interestingly, 88% of explanations for paraphrased articles mention AI vocabulary, compared to 69.8% for non-paraphrased GPT-4o articles. We also find that quotes are noted in 33.8% of explanations for paraphrased articles, often because experts observed a consistent format, like quotes appearing only at the end of paragraphs. Originality is another key clue, emphasizing the creativity gap between humans and language models. We see that our experts do not always focus on the same clues. For example, Annotator 1 uniquely identifies AI names, noting that 63.3% of GPT-4o and 70% of Claude-3.5-SONNET articles include names like Emily or Sarah. Annotators 2 and 3 concentrate on linguistic features, such as the lack of adherence to proper writing conventions or the tendency of language models to list examples in threes. Annotator 4 examines the flow and detail of the articles, while Annotator 5 assesses whether quotes sound natural. This variety and focus helps explain why a group of expert annotators performs well and suggests opportunities for training to ensure all experts recognize key distinguishing features. When experts make mistakes, we analyze the clues that mislead them. We find that even with strong overall performance, individual errors occur, especially with the text produced by O1PRO. For instance, Annotator 3, who emphasizes linguistic features, struggles with O1PRO's use of contractions and colloquialisms, failing to mention formality in their explanations for certain experiments. We also learn that 31% of false positives mention vocabulary, often when human written content includes words like delve and crucial, which experts associate with AI text. Additionally, 50% of false positives focus on sentence structure, where human writing mimics the style preferred by language models. Next, we investigate whether language models can be prompted to mimic our expert annotators. Our findings show that human annotators are generally more accurate and provide better explanations than the automatic detectors we tested. However, hiring humans is costly and time-consuming. To address this, we prompt language models to imitate our experts using the guidebook from our humanization experiments. While this approach shows potential and outperforms some detectors, it does not match the performance of our human experts or advanced automatic detectors. Finally, we implement a prompt-based detector using our AI detection guidebook. We prompt a language model to determine if a text is human-written or AI-generated and to explain its reasoning based on the guidebook criteria. Although we can adjust the detector's behavior through the prompt, it does not provide a single score, making it challenging to set a false positive threshold. We derive the final output from the model's predictions in a deterministic manner. Section Summary. In this section, we analyze how experts identify AI-generated articles, noting that they rely on various clues such as vocabulary, sentence structure, and originality, with different annotators focusing on distinct features. We also explore the limitations of LLMs in mimicking human detection capabilities, finding that while they can outperform some automatic detectors, they still fall short of human accuracy and robustness. Section: Prompt-based detection shows promise but struggles with humanization and high false positive rates. In this section, we implement our prompt-based detector using zero-shot prompting with GPT-4o the 20th of November 2024 and 01. We compare the effects of chain-of-thought prompting and the use of a detection guide on performance. For GPT-4o, the best results come from using both chain-of-thought and the guidebook, achieving an average true positive rate of 78%. In contrast, O1 performs best with chain of thought alone, resulting in a true positive rate of 54%. We find that O1 is more conservative than GPT-4o, showing lower false positive rates on average, but this comes with a trade-off of lower true positive rates. However, O1 is better at detecting humanized text. Overall, our top configuration with GPT-4o the 20th of November 2024 performs similarly to other detectors like binoculars and Fast Detect GPT, but at a significantly higher cost. The difference between our method and human detection indicates that we still have much to learn about training large language models to identify AI-generated text as effectively as humans do. We believe that fine-tuning could help bridge this gap. Our work builds on previous research focused on detecting AI-generated text through both human and automated methods, as well as recent studies on how to bypass these detectors. Our study aligns closely with several papers published before the release of ChatGPT, which highlight that while some naive annotators struggle to identify AI-generated texts, others perform quite well. These findings have also been replicated in other areas, such as Italian news articles and poetry, where humans and machines work together to distinguish between human and AI-generated content in mixed documents. Successful automatic detection methods usually rely on perplexity or trained classifiers. Some detectors concentrate on sentence-level detection, stressing the need for more detailed and understandable detection methods. They also compare detector performance across various domains and under adversarial conditions. However, many automatic detectors struggle against attacks like paraphrasing and are highly sensitive to stylistic changes. The rise in large language model usage has led to increased interest in making AI-generated text more human-like. Many commercial services now cater to this demand. Initial research has suggested various humanization techniques to evade automatic detection while also enhancing the resilience of these detectors against humanized content.